Okay, good morning, everybody. I would like to first, for the organizers to provide me a chance to share with you the government actions and the plans to combat climate change in Hong Kong. And my presentation will be more focused on the Hong Kong position and begin with the introduction of the government actions for the current climate actions. And I will then talk about what is the overview about the Paris Agreement and Hong Kong. And I will talk more about on the long-term decarbonization strategies and also the coming public engagement exercise will be conducted in Hong Kong. So I would like to stress that Hong Kong is very actively participating in the international cooperation and the communications with to combat climate change. We have already a member of C40 Cities Climate Leadership Group since 2007. And we also become a member of C40 Steering Committee in 2011. We have been members of the Chinese delegations to attend the COPs, that is just like the ones in COP21 in 2015 and also last year in COP24. And Paris Agreement is come to in effect in November 2016, and which is applied to Hong Kong. And we are committed to join hands to the international communities for the goal to achieve the Paris Agreement. And with regards to Paris Agreements, all parties to formulate and communicate the long-term low greenhouse gas emission development strategies by 2020. And we have a common but a different responsibility, and based on our own capabilities. And as we are part of China, we are also responsible on this agreement. And so Hong Kong will draw up our own long-term decarbonization strategy up to 2050 and required by the Paris Agreement. What we're going to do is government invites the Council of Sustainable Development has been for the conduct of public engagement for this formulate the long-term decarbonization strategies. What the document is going to come up is expected to be in coming March this year. And what Hong Kong has been done is that we have a Interdepartmental Steering Committee on Climate Change, which is established in 2016, which is chaired by the Chief Secretary of Administration. And what is the work of these committees is we join the hands of all the bureaus and departments in Hong Kong. We should come collective actions to all the policy and action in Hong Kong. And we have already released a Hong Kong Climate Action Plan 2030 Plus in 2017, which is send out all the details that Hong Kong what's the strategy is going to come up in 2030s. Then what is inside the Climate Action Plan is listed out here. You may probably look about on the 2030s targets. We are going to have a carbon intensity reduction target up to 65 to 70%. And that means in currently 2016, we have 5.7 tons per capita. We are going to reduce up to 3.3 to 3.8 tons in 2030s. And I would respond to Professor Yi that Hong Kong should reach the peak level by 2020s. And what is Hong Kong is committed for in the action plan? Actually, we have 3 major areas. It is the mitigations, adaptation, and resilience. What it's talking about is mitigation is the efforts to reduce and prevent the emission of greenhouse gas. For example, we will enhance the building efficiency, and also all probably is the transport sector we are going to focus on. And another thing is adaptation. Adaptation is, you mean we come up with the urban planning. Is this what all the have favor for the green life in Hong Kong, something like that? And resilient is try to absorb the climate change related stress, and we ensure we should function in case any climate change if impacts to Hong Kong. So we would like to have some factual data here. In Hong Kong, as you know, we are about 65% carbon emission is come from the electricity generation. And out of these 90% of these is for the building use on that. So I would like to say that rewarming our fuel mix is a key means to reduce carbon and air emission in Hong Kong. And what we have done is since 1997, we have already not allowed the power plant company to have a new coal-fired plant in Hong Kong. And regarding to the result that we have a public consultation for the future fuel mix of electricity generation conducted in 2014. We have announced our fuel mix in 2020 is about the natural gas is for half of the electric generation in Hong Kong. And the remaining 25 is from the coal and also for the natural gas. And we have to achieve the 2030 carbon reduction target. We will continue to phase down the retirement of the coal-fired plants in next decade, and replaced by natural gas and other non-fossil fuel source. And also we are very active to promote the renewable energy in Hong Kong. So you may heard of in last year in Hong Kong is announced the new feed-in tariff scheme in Hong Kong. We are promote people to install the solar PV and the wind system in their own premises. And they can sell the renewable energy back to the power company. And if the business sector, we also promote them to buy the renewable energy certificates for that. In case they really buy the RE certificate, they can also offset the carbon emission in their own business. Another thing is that you know that here we see that 90% is from the building use. What we are focused on is how to promote the energy efficiency in building and promote the energy saving there. And for the transport sector, it is the second largest carbon emission in Hong Kong. It's about 18%. We will try best to encourage the general publics to use the public transport, and also we will go to expand our railway network. And the last one we would like to cover is we also promote low carbon living. We announced a low carbon living calculator to tell the public what the carbon emissions they are going to do in their daily life. Just talk about the COP24 held in Poland last December, and I and my colleagues is attend as one part of the Chinese delegation there. We actually meet Robert there, and we attend the side event in China's pavilion and attend the NGO meetings of the Chinese delegation. We are now, what is the follow-up works after the COP24? Our government is really liaise with the Department of Climate Change of the Ministry of Ecology and Environment for complying the rule book, what's Hong Kong action on that, and what we fit with the country's action. And we also, one of the focus in COP24 is about the special report on global warming on 1.5C by IPCC. It highlights the number of climate change impact that can be avoided if we can limit the global warming to 1.5 degrees compared with 2 degrees C or more. It indicates that limiting global warming to 1.5 C would require a rapid and far-reaching change in all aspects in the society. So what we're going to respond, in Hong Kong, we will consider it as one of the latest scientific findings or developments. So we would like to consider when we formulate the long-term decarbonization strategy in Hong Kong. So what we're going to do in the public engagement in coming March. Here, we list out the 5 targets. We are going to ask for the public comments on these things. The first issue is to setting the suitable carbon emission target. Maybe we can have a really specific target in number, or we can have a directional target because it's really long away from here, about 30 years at least. So we will ask for the public wherever they want a specific target on this. And the second one is the carbon reduction in electricity generations. As our current plant is really phasing down the coal-fired generation plant and replacing them largely by the natural gas by 2030 to meet our set carbon intensity reduction target. However, as all you know, using natural gas is also generate carbon emission. So to further reduce the carbon emission in long run, we cannot solely depend on the generation on the natural gas. So we need to increase the portion of the zero carbon energy in our fuel mix. And the coming public engagement exercise, we would like to know the public comments on among this to further decarbonize the electricity generation sector. What is their view on this? How to set out the zero carbon energy in electricity generation. As also I indicated earlier, Hong Kong building also come up 90% in the use of electricity. So we like to promote the green building and enhance the building energy efficiency and saving to achieve our long-term decarbonization target. So it is the third key issue that's covered in the coming exercise. And also for the transport sector, how to do it, maybe also promote the walking and bicycle friendly in Hong Kong, but how the general public will be really interested to do that. We will see if the public comments on this. And last but not least, the long-term carbon reduction requires the collective effort for all of us in general public. So we go to adopt the low carbon life living here. And what is the progress of the public engagement exercise? I will be quite briefly on this. I have told that the document is targeted to be published in coming March. And it is a quite tight timetable on this because we are going to submit our long-term decarbonization strategy and targets to the full China to the UNFCCC by the end of this year or the early next year. So 6 focus group meeting has been conducted which is invited all the professional or some stakeholders to attend. We have collected their opinion and incorporated in the document. And I would like to ask all of you to actively show your will in coming public engagement exercise to let us know your will, and we will formulate our long-term decarbonization strategies. So thank you, and look forward to the discussion in